Cliff Edmond, the driver of the 36 car, is beside us. And Cliff, as we talk about the Trans Am Road Race Series and some of the things going on here in the paddock, and after the drivers' meeting, we're here at Brainerd, one of your favorite tracks, from what I remember. And
actually, I've had pretty bad luck here.
Well, you've had bad luck here, but I think you like this track. It seems like it's close to home, right?
Yes, it is.
And what do you expect for this afternoon? You're going to start, looks like P4, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes. By points. Yep.
Right. And you expect some good things?
I hope so. Hope it doesn't rain. And nothing breaks.
Cliff Evans a little short on words this afternoon, but not short on speed in the car.
I hope not.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll bug Cliff a little bit later.
Yeah.
Well, let's grab one of the rock and rollers of TA3 American Muscle Group, and this is Chuck Cassar. Chuck, come over here if you would, just for a second here. A little timeout from your autograph session. Chuck drives the number 76 Ford Mustang in American Muscle, and sponsored by Metallica as well. Your big friends there.
Yep.
Hey, you're in the hunt, in the battle for a championship this year.
I am in the hunt for a three-peat this year. I lost the lead at the last race due to a spin on my own part. So driver error on that kind of put me back in the points. Hopefully today will be a little bit of a redemption, not only in the points, but for redemption at BIR, because I had a pretty spectacular crash here last year.
So let's talk about the kind of the scenario about for the race. We're talking about possible rain here at Brainerd for round 8. Some of the guys want to go out in the rain, some don't. What's your preference, first off?
The preference for me is to know at least ahead of time what we're going to do. The worst part is when you're in the pits and you're waiting, and half hour before the race, you still don't know if it's going to rain or if it's going to be dry. One way or another, we just want to know. So racing in the rain, it is actually a lot of fun. So it doesn't bother me a bit.
Best of luck today, Chuck Cassar, the driver of the 76 car, again, the American Muscle and TA3 American Muscle Group. And let's go over here and let's find this guy over here. You've heard of the Andretti's before. You've heard of a guy by the name of, I think it's Mario. Yeah, Mario Andretti. There's also a guy named Aldo. His twin brother, Aldo, has a son named Adam Andretti. Also John Andretti, a lot of you know. Some of you don't know Adam as well, driver of the 44 car in the ECC Motorsports. Adam Andretti here, and second in the championship right now in TA2.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, we're having a great year. I mean, me personally, I'm having a career year. We've got 3 poles this year, a couple of track records during those qualifying sessions, a couple of wins. The only time we were off the podium is when we had a mechanical failure. So I'm pretty proud of our ECC Motorsports effort and what our crew and what our guys go through, and the men and women at our shop. I mean, I can't thank them enough. It's really a brilliant group of people.
Coming off a victory at Mid-Ohio last round number 7, and a great run for you there. You picked up a lot of points. Cameron Lawrence, who jumped over to Dodge Challenger, got out of the Camaro like you're driving, hoping to secure a second championship, but you're coming on strong with that Camaro.
Yeah, we got the benefit of being in the package that we've been in all year. So we obviously, us as a team, we had that sympathy towards their changeover. But at the end of the day, they're still very strong competitors. Been around this sport a long time, and I know Dodge is always very competitive when they get and set their minds to something to a motorsports program. So they're going to be right there. I think now it's going to be closer down at the end, but we feel a lot of momentum on our side. Mid-Ohio was a wonderful, wonderful weekend for us. Something that we really needed as a team, a great boost. And going to these last 4 races, it's a bit of an unknown. Brainerd here, I've got 0 experience. For as many miles I have in Mid-Ohio, I have none here. And then, the next couple tracks, here, Lime Rock, and VIR, I've got kind of limited amount of time around. So this is going to be my toughest part of the championship, but I think we're going to be great. I got the best group of guys behind me, and I'm excited to get at it.
When you are on a track with, let's just use Cameron Lawrence, Kevin Poitras out there, Ron W. Keith, there. Don't say anything personal.
I would never.
Like, I won't talk about it.
I'm PC.
Are you seeing the camera? No. Yeah. I see them. We got them on the screen, so somewhere we want to right back.
I can't take my coat off. I got the wrong gear on underneath.
That's cool.
Yeah. Hey. Okay, we're back. Hey, we're back. I guess live. So hopefully, are you hearing us? You seeing us? Hey. Yeah. Good to see you. Hey. Hi. With Amy Ruman, the driver of the 23 McNichols Chevrolet Corvette. Amy, you're starting P3 today. Third in championship points. Had some issues at Mid-Ohio that dropped you back in the point standings. You were hoping to go in there and take the championship lead. Not so much round 8 here at Brainerd, though. It's a track that you have done very well here before.
Yeah, we're looking for a good race today. We're trying to close that points gap, especially after the Mid-Ohio debacle. But, it is what it is. So we're just going to come out fighting and best we can and try to get a win here. And we got 4 races to go, so it's not out of our reach yet. We're still focused, and my team has worked really hard putting the car back together and getting us here. And, the qualifier got rained out yesterday, so we're going to start in third, and that's where our points were. We're 1 point on a second off Simon right now. So, we're looking for a good race. I hope the weather holds out. I don't know. It's iffy, so we'll see.
When we talk about practice sessions, since we didn't qualify, we look at those practice times from this morning. Just kind of taking it easy a little bit. You were behind Peterson a little bit.
Yeah, we were a little bit second off, but we didn't really have new tires on. We were just on scrubs, so we ran a pretty good time for the mileage that we had on those tires. So we're not out of it by any sense of the word. So we'll be right there. I think it'll be a close race. Simon's good here. Doug's pretty good. We're gonna have tire management again, and if the rain becomes a factor, that's a whole nother level. So we'll see what happens there.
You like the rain?
Not particularly, no.
And how do you feel your chances are in the rain compared to the dry? I mean, or just it equals out?
It's an equalizer. I think everybody has the same shot at that point, and obviously we want to use the horsepower we can and have a dry track. It's much more fun for all of us, in my opinion. But some people like the wet. I don't particularly like it. I did race here in the rain before a couple years ago. The track got wet and then it dried and then it got wet again. I don't know if you're here for that one, but it was interesting. So, hopefully it stays dry and the sun prevails and we'll come out on top.
That's Amy Ruman, driver of the McNichols Chevrolet Corvette. Thank you, Amy, and have a great run today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's check around here. We got Jed Copham. Jed, come on over here, and Gary Collins. I'm sorry, where's Jed? Jed's over there. We'll get Curtis. Sorry. Gary Curtis. I call him Kenny Loggins, and Kenny Loggins. This is Kenny Loggins. This is actually Kenny Loggins. He's much younger in person and in real life.
And I'm much nicer. Much nicer.
Could you sing that for us? We'll go. So let's stay away from that one. Hey, Gary Curtis is the basically general operation manager here at Brainerd.
For the road racing side of it. For the road racing side.
Okay, for the road, not the straight line guys, which we hear behind us.
Stuff. We turn left and right here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Your job here, what do you do?
You name it, I do it. You need something, I get it done. My main job is running the performance driving school. So we do training with law enforcement, we do an advanced teen school, anti-terrorism, anti-kidnapping school, performance driving school, corporate and private events, racing licensing school. You want me to go on and on, Dan?
I was going to pull my gun out and see what he'd do. We're going to see how he responds to that.
And we can take care of that for you, too.
Yeah. He'll take me down, I'm sure. Gary, this track has changed. It's evolved in the last 4 or 5 years that I've been through here. Some big changes in the future?
Well, we're hoping to do some more paddock area. As you can see, we've got a limited paddock area right now. We're going to add a lot more asphalt over on the other side where we've got the World Challenge cars this weekend and timing scoring tower. I know you love it so much the way we have it right now, but we're going to actually change that at some point too.
Wow, that's exciting. I mean, we talk about the front porch here at Brainerd. It's literally a deck that we kind of sit out on top of as we're announcing the races. But it's kind of a fun ambiance too, as long as the big mosquitoes don't come out. And I got to tell you, in the 4 or 5 years I've been here, I've never seen the big mosquitoes.
Well, they beat you up and drag you off in the woods and suck the blood out of you. But other than that, they're pretty friendly. So, you've named some of them pets, right?
Yeah, well, also, isn't it one of the big game birds here?
It is. It's a Minnesota state bird, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, we like the front porch idea, but if they're dragging you off the porch, that's not good.
Jed Copham, who's somewhere around, Jed, I always say Jed, but Jed Copham, who's around here, and the track owner, is running in the TA2 class this weekend. Owner of this track, He loves to race. He gets into almost anything he can. Does exotic stuff and does some good sports car stuff. What do you think of his talents and abilities?
His talents are incredible. He's moved a long way from just 5-6 years ago. Gotten very smooth, technically better. He's a great driver, and he does well in traffic, so you don't have to worry about him being out there. He's doing very well.
So you expect, I saw from this morning's practice time, I think he was 5th, 6th fastest in TA2. What do you expect that he'll do in the performance of the race onslaught that's about to take place?
I think he's saving a little bit for the race. I think he's going to be faster in the race. He's more focused during the race. So yeah, qualifying and practice is one thing. You get out in the race situation, it's going to be different.
This is Gary Curtis, is the operations manager here at Brainerd International Raceway, where round number 8 of the Trans Am Road Race Series is about to take place in about 4 hours' time here at Brainerd. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Dan.
Let's go find if we can. Oh, wow. You sure you want to? We got to cover up there. We'll do this. I'm not touching. I'm just covering. As we cover up the other insignia. This is the Hoosier Tire shod Trans Am Road Race Series, but the Pirelli girls here with the Pirelli World Challenge. Great to have you girls here.
Thanks. Yeah, we're having a great time. It's been a really good weekend. Everyone's done really well. It's been really exciting.
Yep. And your name again?
Oh, Shauna.
Shauna, and we have Sam over here. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
And
I'm Jason Cherry's sister, part of Shea Racing.
Yeah, you're his older sister, right?
No.
Oh, younger sister. That's right. That's what I'm looking at another. Yeah. But ladies, what's your job here? What are you doing?
We basically just hold the flags before the pre-grid and everything before the race, and get all the guys pumped up for the race, get them going.
Yeah. Okay. And what else do you do? Anything in Victory Circle?
We hand out the trophies and just kind of congratulate the winners.
All right. This is the Pirelli World Challenge girls, and they're here with the Pirelli World Challenge. Great to have them here. Let's. Hey, Rob Bodel is in the house. Rob Bodel is over here. He drives the number 16 Ford Mustang Caribbean Food Delights car in the TA3 American Muscle Group. And Rob, we're on live stream evidently right now, and I think the world is watching us.
Well, that's fine. I just wanted to mention this is not the Daniel Lacey interview I was looking for today.
What were you looking for?
Podium.
Well, we're not
Later.
there yet. Yeah.
No, this is just fine for now. But just make a date for me for later. I'll need a reservation for one of those 3 spots.
Okay. Rob Bodel looking for some. Well, do I have to bribe somebody, or are you just going to perform?
No, I'll take on the responsibility of doing it. Just keep my champagne bottle cold.
Cold, yeah, not warm, because the warm champagne going down the throat's not very good.
No, not necessarily good.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, no. You can spray it well though.
Yes, I don't do that though. I'm the only guy in racing that doesn't spray his champagne after the race.
Yeah, kind of interesting. In TA3 International and American Muscle Group, sometimes the guys will actually just click the bottles and call it good because they don't want to get all the driver's seats all messed up.
I save the bottles for my sponsor.
Ah.
See, better to give them full and unopened than empty, and then they know what I've been doing with it.
And I think the bottles are screw tops, so you can actually screw the top back on if you have to.
Yeah, that could be true. Yeah, that could be true.
Rob Bodel, the Caribbean Food Delights car, and let's take a walk through the paddock here. And thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. Good luck today. Again, Dan Lacey with the Trans Am Road Race Series, and we're here in Brainerd International Raceway. We're about 2.5-3 hours north of Minneapolis, St. Paul, depending on the traffic. The traffic for me coming in here on Friday was a little bit of a mess, but we're gonna come over here and grab one of these. Look for Mickey Wright. Mickey Wright, the driver of the 6 car with Dirt Hog Motorsports and the Chevrolet Corvette, runs Trans Am, and we'll see Mickey's hanging out here. Hey, Mickey, we got some fans of yours here. It looks like
Brother Bill.
Brother Bill. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Good. I'm fantastic. Happy to be here.
We got some lint on the mic. I hate it when that happens.
From me?
No. It kind of blew in. It's windy here. So, Brother Bill, camera over here. But hey, how you doing? Who else do you have here?
This is my niece Liz.
Oh, wait, hang on. You're who?
Oh,
My niece.
I'm Bill. This is my niece Liz.
Yep.
Her niece too.
Her niece also.
Yep. Okay.
And then this is her son Jared.
Jared. Okay.
Her husband Jay.
Jay Hildebrand. Hey, Jay.
Kinsley is one of.
FanRag.
Yeah, Kinsley and Avery.
And Avery. Okay.
Kinsley, did you want to sing something?
Can you sing a few bars? No, yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hey, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. How about that?
Hey, so let's talk about who that Mickey might be. Hey, Mickey, Mickey Wright.
Hey, Dan, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Very good.
Yep. Driver of the 6 car, the Durhog Motorsports Chevrolet Corvette. Teammate to Simon Gregg, the 2012 Trans Am champion. And how's it going here at Brainerd?
Actually, it's going pretty good. I've never been here before, so I'm really happy. Went out today just because of the weather yesterday, so I just went out and scraped my tires off to be ready to race at 4:15 today.
Very good. 4:15 again. 100 miles here, 40 laps at Brainerd.
Right.
Do you Trans Am drivers take a notepad and a piece of paper and just, or a pencil and go, put down a scribe mark for every time you complete a lap?
I wish I had a clicker, to be honest with you. It'd be easier. I just have my guys tell me when I'm halfway through, and then when there's 6 laps to go.
Why 6 laps?
My number, I guess, and it's to let me know. Put it on. If you're going to do anything, do it now more.
Because 6 is the number on your car, so that's a good number for that lap count.
Yes, it is.
So what do you expect for today?
I don't know. I'm just hoping it doesn't rain, and I just hope to be there at the end. Want to do good. I had some good laps yesterday, so I'm ready to race.
Mickey Wright drives the 6 car again for Durhog Motorsports in the Wright Motorsports machine, and we'll look forward to seeing her a little later on in round number 8 here at Brainerd International Raceway.
All right.
Yeah, can we take a break just for a moment here?
I have to walk.
Oh, really? Walk the
We're just going to kind of walk around.
cars, and now we're making our way into the confines of the Trans Am paddock. Look at this. This is yeah, I know he's mimicking me. I'm going to stop him and harass him. Sir, this is Jim McAleese. Jim McAleese drives a 03 machine in Trans Am, and I've alluded to this. I refuse to step away from this. You are like a baby in a blanket when you get into that race car. I've got pictures of you actually from this weekend, sound asleep in your car. At least I think you were sound asleep. Regardless, you tend to nappy time in your car. It sounds like.
I do a lot of things in that car.
Okay, this is probably a family show.
Napping it, sleeping, it just makes me feel good. Makes me feel comfortable, and I can drive the track in my head.
You did a lot of laps in practice this morning. We didn't get a qualifying session yesterday. Yep. We lined up by points. I think you're going to be about P6 when we start off today. Jim, you're the true gentleman in the pack. I say that in all sincerity. On the racetrack, you tend to tear it up, and it's a good thing to see. What do you expect from today?
It's a brand new track for me. It's our first time here ever. Usually my crew is in different corners. They tell me what's coming up ahead. If we have Royal, there's something as the car's off. So I feel very comfortable. They really keep like a little angel on my shoulder. They watch out for me. So it really just lets me put my head down and try to see through the cars that are in front of me and just drive. We'll see where it goes.
You get Josh Hurley, good race car driver himself, youngster, but coaching you this weekend.
Yes, sir. Oh, God, he's fantastic.
Yeah?
I've never seen a man with data like that. I mean, he's got spreadsheets for spreadsheets.
And you like that. I mean, you're kind of a technical guy, right?
Yeah. No, so the more, Doug and Josh are the two best guys. In other words, I'm in a series that I've never driven in before where the car is 825 horsepower, so every track is a new track. We're constantly pushing the envelope at every track. And I really need someone who has been in a similar car, in a pro driver, to really be able to say, you can push it harder, you can mash the gas here, and you're not going to stuff it into the wall. So they are what keeps me calm, as well as Matt, my crew chief, screaming at me.
Also we've heard where drivers will talk about coming into a corner, and the engineer says, okay, what were you doing in this corner? Oh, I was going third gear flat out, and they'll say, no, you were second gear and you lifted. Is there some of that going on too, because they're dialing you in, or do you guys see kind of eye to eye? And there's no sense in lying to them, right? They got all the data.
You can't lie. There's no lying here. They know when I'm lying all the time. So they know. They caught me yesterday morning. We had 2 sessions on a very rainy track. We were running about 134 a lap. They caught me yesterday morning about 7 o'clock, and they said, Jim, we need to talk. You're lifting throughout the entire turn 1, 2, and down into 3. And literally in one session we picked up 4 seconds.
Wow. That's a ton of time.
It's coming together.
Jim McAleese, again, the driver of the 03 car. Jim,
sir.
Hey, good luck today.
Always good to be in your house, buddy.
Hey, thank you, buddy. Oh, that's a big bear hug. Oh.
Tell the big guy upstairs to pray for us today.
Honey, I love you.
There we are right there. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Later, man. All right, let's come over here. It's Jim Durhog, and Jim Durhog, one of the main entities in the Trans Am Race Company. You guys have taken this series in the last, I'll call it 6 years, 5 years, opened the can back up and put it out on the table and taken what you can and make the thing work. And oh my goodness, man, this thing's starting to blow up. It's been blowing up.
Yeah, Dan, well, you know, when I started this thing back up for 09, it was still under the auspice of SCCA, and I appreciate everything they did and get it going, but they weren't really doing what needed to be done. So when I put the ownership group together, you know, it's people that are race car drivers, race car team owners. It's real racers, not just sanctioning body. And then the key element was when we hired John Claggett, you know, who had been VP of SCCA Pro Racing and Champ Car and had been around for a long time. And the philosophy of the ownership group is real simple. You know, the competitors are our customers, and treat them as such. Give them a good level playing surface, fair rules, and treat them with respect and like customers, and the thing is growing exponentially. And we kind of figured it would. And you know, we had 58 cars at Mid-Ohio. You know, the first time we came to Brainerd here after we restarted, we had 8. And we've got 28 this weekend. And everybody thinks this place is 2 stoplights south of the North Pole and really, you know, don't travel here. It's a holiday weekend and stuff like that. So this is probably our lowest car count of the year, and we've still got as many cars or more probably than we ever brought here in the heyday at Trans Am. So we're really pleased with the way it's going. The competitors are real happy. You know, Trans Am, it's kind of a big family. You've been around this thing for a long time, you know, and we beat each other's brains out on the racetrack and help everybody else out in the paddock. You know,
we have a beer once in a while too.
Yeah, I don't drink beer, but anyway, you know, the reality of it is somebody wrecks their car. If they need help, everybody's going to help them. You know, it's a big family. And that's why people come here and compete and spend their money here instead of a lot of other places where it's not quite so friendly.
You know, we talk about some of the resurgence in this series. TA2 has taken on a kind of a whole life of its own. Dodge Challenger SRT Group has brought that car out with Tommy Kendall and Cameron Lawrence actually gambling on a championship in 2014, having the points lead, jumping into a car that's maybe a little bit unproven, and yet he's back out here again and doing pretty well in this brand new car.
Cameron could go fast in that dually over there. You know, the kid drove for me at the sprints. You know, we put him in a car for the June sprints, and he won both races. And he's just the nicest young man, and probably the most talented guy I've seen to come along since Scott Pruitt in road racing. He really is, and I think he's got a bright future in racing. And you know, I just wish him well. He's a great kid, great family. You know, and it's kind of interesting because he's not even old enough to rent a car. I have to pick him up at the airport when he comes to Brainerd and drive him up here. So, you know, there's a lot of bright stars on the horizon in this deal, and it's working.
Jim Durhog with the Trans Am Race Company, and again, one of the mainstays in this organization, and a guy who's got a passion for Trans Am, and also has Simon Gregg, the 59 car, and Mickey Wright in the stable, the number 6 car. Look forward to some great results today.
Thanks, Dan.
I gotta catch up for a second here. I gotta step away for a minute. Okay, Carlos, we're pausing. We'll pause. Okay. I didn't want to say that. Dan Lacey here again at the Trans Am paddock with Tony Ave, who sometimes drives the race car. This weekend, though, and pretty much for 2014, he's been the owner of the Doug Peterson car and the number 4 car, occasionally hitting the track. Tony Ave, part of the owners group. Tony, 2-time Trans Am champ. It's not in the can, man. This is live, so it's somewhere on the web out there. It's great to have you here, and you've been one of the mainstays in this series the last 5-6 years that has really seen the resurgence of this owners group and the paddock.
Yeah, it's almost growing too fast. I'm so busy building cars, I don't have time to race them, so that's a good problem. And, you know, the only problems we're having these days is finding room to park all the cars. When we first started, it was trying to find guys to come race. So it's gone, I think, way ahead of our expectations.
Let's get real, okay? Because I'm hearing some of these guys out here are saying they're gonna pick up 2 more TA cars, a couple of more TA2 cars here and there. We saw 58 cars at Mid-Ohio. The car count's down here. It's kind of like the diamond in the rough here in Brainerd. I love this place, but what do you expect in 2015 for the growth of the series, in all sincerity?
Lots of cars. We're going to run at least 2, probably 3 Trans Am cars out of my shop. Plus, it looks like we could run 2 or 4 TA2 cars, which I would run as a separate business. But the demand is just really high for all of that people seem to like the racing and the format. We're not endurance racing, so that saves the teams a bit of money. And I just think they're looking for a format that they can get a little more bang for their buck, and we're trying to provide that here.
We're talking about bang for the buck. TA2 about, let's call it 80 to 90 when you're done with it, race car, but then it's fairly bulletproof. Fuel-injected motors in this BA car is a little different than the TA cars being carbureted.
Yeah, I mean that, and the reason for that is quite simple. We run carbureted cars in the Trans Am cars because there's a lot of it out there. It's very economical to buy, and it makes more power than we can use. On the TA2 side, to get those engines, if you wanted to carburate them, it's more work than just buying them with fuel injection systems on them. The manufacturers are showing some interest in there, and they want us to run the fuel injected engines, which we're happy to do. So I think that's the only reason there's a difference there. There's no real reason to make the Trans Am cars more complicated than they are. They're already way faster than pretty much any GT car anywhere. And with the TA2 stuff, we're seeing engines run 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 miles before you have to rebuild them. And I've tested cars at or better than the front of the grid with 4,000 miles on the engines, right? So there's no reason to make that thing any less complicated. It seems to work well.
We talk about the individual owners here. We talk about the individual teams. Now we're seeing some manufacturers come in at TA2. Concern, or is this a good thing?
You just have to manage it. It's a good thing as long as you don't let the manufacturers try to run the place, because every time they do that, it ruins it over the long haul, right? So they came here because what we had was desirable to them. So it's our job to just keep it like that. And we're not going to change anything for them. We're going to change it for the racers. We're worried about the guys that own these cars and drive these cars. Who else comes and helps pay for that or provides parts, that'll always come and go. But the racers are the core of this thing, and it's going to stay that way.
This is Tony Ave again with the number 87 car, Doug Peterson, who's trying to go for 2 in a row in the championship. Tony Ave, also a 2-time Trans Am champ. And Tony, great to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, I got to break away. I've got to go. Okay. I hope that was enough for you guys.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Pause. Thank you. Now they've got me doing a live internet feed. So you want to do it again?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it is Mike, right?
Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Tim Winker.
Okay.
Okay. Wow, Mike Miller. You've had a hell of a year. You've got a driver that's in the points lead in TA2, and you switched cars.
We did in mid-season. We've been working with the Dodge folks, and they were kind enough to ask us to represent them. So we not only switched cars, we switched engines, we switched drivetrains, we switched the whole 9 yards. So it's really been a challenge.
And you had some teething problems in Mid-Ohio last race out.
We did. First race out, we didn't give our drivers as good a car as we should have. Tommy Kendall did a great job. Dodge having brought Tommy back to the series. He's one of the mainstays of the Trans Am series. He's one of the all-time great champions that they've had, and Dodge was able to persuade Tommy to come back and run in Trans Am with us, and so that's been a great, great boost for Trans Am and a great boost for us. But we feel very responsible giving him a really good car, and we didn't give him the best car at Mid-Ohio, but we worked really hard to get the cars ready, and it was a last-minute rush to push them all together. Cameron Lawrence, the car didn't show up for qualifying, so we had to start him from the back of the pack, and he's leading the series. And so how difficult is it, to start your driver is leading the points in the back of the pack, and he's got to work his way up. And certainly, he gets started, and he has to come in for a minor adjustment, and then we get a drive-through speeding penalty. So he has to come back in and drive through. So he did a yeoman's job going from 25th to 10th. So it was a great drive by him, but a little for our team of working things out and understanding the new Dodge car and the new engines, and trying to give Dodge the great representation they deserve, because they're a great company, and They've done a tremendous job of helping us get organized and ready. It's really a challenge to bring together a new car with a team that's used to something different and having to switch over and take on the Chrysler mantra and go after it and make sure that it works like a champion's car would. And that's what Dodge deserves. The guys at SRT have been incredible in working with us. The engines are superb, and we just need to give them the same kind of result they deserve.
Now, of course, there's a lot of people that are glad to see Dodge back with the Challengers. They remember the years when Sam Posey drove. 1970 was the big year Posey drove the Dodge Challengers, and he had the bright green cars. You've got a bright green car, which is just like Posey had back in those days, and people are just thrilled to see that car out here again.
Oh, yeah. The green car brings back great memories, of Sam Posey, and then, of course, you match the green car with the great champion of Tommy Kendall in it, and everybody wants to see these cars. I mean, when people flock around the pit area to see these two cars. We got the great driver Cameron Lawrence driving our number one car, and he's earned that number by being last year's champion. And so the realities are we're gonna put on a great show with the Dodgers, but we've just got to, as a team, deliver as good a car as we have drivers, and as we represent a great car company, we've got to make sure that our cars and our preparation live up to all of the faith they put in us.
Now, you've got Tommy Kendall, and that also has been a lot of excitement. Kendall was champion 3 years, I believe, for some of the great teams of the Trans Am Series back a couple of decades ago.
Yeah, Tommy. Tommy's driven. Tommy and I actually drove for Jack Roush, me in a different decade, than Tommy. But Tommy's a great driver. He's not only a great driver, he's a great thinker. He's a very intelligent guy, so he has a lot of feedback about the car. He's very knowledgeable, and his experience is invaluable. It was really interesting in the practice session. We had a real rainstorm yesterday, and we watched Tommy, and I think he was like second quickest in practice yesterday, and the only guy that was a little quicker is our last year's champion, who's our other driver. So the realities are, when you put Tommy in a great car in this situation, he's a great driver, and no matter what happens, he's going to give you everything he's got and then some. And he's truly one of the icons of our sport. We love the guy. We love having him here, and what he brings back to the series is so valuable. His personality, his television show that he does, and his commentary and his experience and knowledge is all a great thing. And Miller Racing is really fortunate to get that. And I got to thank the people from Dodge for making that possible, to bring a guy like that back. And of course, our whole series is thankful to have him here because people love him. You can't help but love Tommy Kendall.
Well, I follow him on Facebook. How can I miss?
Yeah, how could you not follow that guy?
Right. He is a great driver.
Yeah.
Now, you talk about, you mentioned Jack Roush.
Yes.
And of course, Roush and Penske and a lot of the top teams that we know of in NASCAR and IndyCar got their start in Trans Am.
Yeah. Yep. Actually, I drove for Jack in '86 and '87, and I was just prior to his launching his NASCAR teams, and so it was a great experience. Jack is truly one of the most unique people I've ever met, and when I say that, I don't mean unique odd. I mean unique in that he has the most competitive spirit of any guy I've ever been around in my life. And, he loves the people he works with. He works hard with them. He demands a lot of people, but he gives everything he's got to every effort he puts out. I mean, when there's a race going on, I can guarantee you that, Jack Roush's stomach's in a knot when the race is on, and he's working with one of his guys that are out there. His team puts out everything they can. And, we'd like to just emulate just a little bit of that and try to put out the kind of effort that Jack gets out of his team. Bringing a guy like Tommy back in to our series, gives us another, a piece of momentum and ambition to do well and to bring the series to another level. And the realities are, with Tommy there and with Cameron Lawrence, who's probably one of the best up-and-coming drivers in the country. I mean, you can talk about anybody you want. I don't care where they are. If they're behind the wheel of a full-bodied car, I don't think there's many guys that would say there's anybody much better than Cameron coming up. He started with us when he was 19. I think he just turned 21. He's patient. He's savvy. He's smart. He never lets his emotions run away with himself. He never puts a foot wrong. He's always in the right place, and he's always in the hunt.
Somebody described Cameron as the kind of guy you'd want your son to turn out as.
Yeah,
He's just, terrific guy.
I love the guy, and it would be hard for me to say that he isn't that guy. I mean, I was blessed with 3 daughters that I love more than anything in the world. But if I could add one son, it would be Cameron.
Okay.
He's just a super young man, and he does everything you could ask for from a great racer. And he's at his age to be as mature and to be as smooth and as quick as he is. I was a driver at a young age, and I look at what he can do, and I said, man, I could never do that. Not even at the peak of my career, I could never be as good as he is. So that's how good I think he's as good. I drove against Michael and Michael Andretti and Little Al and guys like that, and I've never seen anybody better. I really haven't. And those guys are all-time greats.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so if I compare him to that, I know, and even Tommy has respect for him. Tommy's looking at him and saying, you got 3 years in these cars. Tell me about what these cars do and how I make this car quicker. And he's developed the racecraft Cameron has, and he's bringing that to the series. And so it's going to be interesting. Our cars, and it's our fault that they're not better than they are because we're learning, but we're going to get better, and we're going to be back at the front of the pack again. But today, I think we'll give everybody a good race.
Okay. Tell us a little about, these are the TA2 cars.
Yes, sir.
And tell us a little bit about how they differ from the regular Trans Am cars that we're seeing out here.
So a TA2 car is basically a car that's had a chassis that's pretty much the same from one car to another. The chassis are similar. They're all two-frame chassis with Kevlar bodies on them. So
and the cars are all the muscle pony cars.
The Mustangs, the Camaros, and the Challenger now. So we brought back that war, and we're using relevant power. So each Ford has a Ford engine in it, a Chevy has a Chevy engine. Of course, we have a Hemi. So in our Challengers, which is what we want to do. So the realities are they're very competitive cars with a little bit differences in the engines and the tune-up and that kind of thing. So you have to develop the car over time. That takes some time for you to get the most out of the ring, the most out of the car. But that's what makes the competition so great. The cars are very similar, but the engines are a little different, and the tune-ups are different, and the teams are different. And so you're seeing different results from different owners and teams, and it's made it very competitive. The TA cars, they run about 850 horsepower. The TA2 cars make about 470 horsepower. So a little bit less horsepower, but interestingly enough, like in the rain yesterday, the TA2 cars were faster.
Yeah.
They can't put all that horsepower down. Now, mostly Corvettes in the TA class right now. We've got some Mustangs and some guys that are pretty good. Cliff Eben and other guys who are real veterans in this thing. Probably the two greats right now that we've got running up front, Doug Peterson and Simon Gregg. Great guys, and they do a great job in the Corvettes. They're fast. But the TA2 cars are the new generation of TA, and I do believe that it's created a whole new buzz. And of course, we had 27 TA2 cars down at Mid-Ohio 2 weeks ago, and we got, I think 15 here, but 27 at Mid-Ohio. We had I think 25 at Road America. So really up and coming class. Cars are being built right now. I know I can name 5 new cars that are coming in, and a lot of it is going back to the days of Trans Am. Fathers building cars for their sons. George Robinson building a new TA2 car for his son to enter Trans Am. So we're going to have a really exciting series here. We're going to have a great race, and now that we're getting all the manufacturers back involved in the series, it's going to make a difference for Trans Am. And of course, the entries are up. We had 50 cars at Mid-Ohio, and barely get all the cars on the track. So it's a challenge. We did have a couple of races that were just TA2 races this year, and want to see bring in one at Homestead. Those were great races, and since then, we've learned that this is the class to compete in.
It really sounds, there's a lot of buzz about the TA2 category. And well, thanks so much, Mike.
Pleasure, Tim. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And good luck to you guys today.
Thank you. We need some of that.
They've got the stuff. Let's just see if they can make it happen at the checkered flag.
Send out a little prayer for us, will you? Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
talking now to John Archer Racing, and John, you come from a racing family, and over the years your brothers did very well at this, and you're the youngest brother, and now you're running the company, and you've got a couple of Camaros here that you're running this weekend in TA2.
Yeah, we've actually got 4 Camaros. Unfortunately, we're only running 2 of them here this weekend, but yeah, the 2 older brothers taught me a thing or two, I think.
Yeah.
And, another brother, Mike, was in the mix too, as well as a crew chief. But and we kind of have another brother, Russ, on the team that has been with us 25 or 26 years. So it's a great thing. It's I love what I do. It's a great job. You know, dealing with the Camaros this year has been a little bit of a treat, but it's something new for us. The TA2 class is, I think, exploding better than any other series in the country right now, due to, I think, mostly the affordability of it. It's a great platform. It's good to see, you know, the 3 manufacturers all kind of sort of coming back and get involved in Trans Am again. It kind of brings back some stuff I watched when I was in my younger years.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, it's a lot of fun. We're planning to have 6 to 8 cars for next season. We have some new people coming in from another program that we have, but also we're hoping to maybe see a guy by the name of Tommy Archer back in the seat.
I was talking to Tommy Archer a little bit earlier, and we'll probably snag him if he walks by again. Tell us about who you've got driving this weekend.
This weekend we actually have Jed Copham. He's actually the owner of Brainerd International Raceway.
Right.
I gave him a call and said, you know, it's I don't see you listed on anybody's ride, so I got one for you. And he's like, perfect, I'm in.
Yeah.
And we got Frank Lucier from North Carolina. He's been a client with us for the past 4 or 5 years. This is Frank's 5th time in the car, so we're still getting our feet wet with the Camaros. And we also have David Mazik and Nathan Stokey, who are not here this weekend due to business obligations. But it's been, again, you know, we've only been out 5 times. These guys are new to these cars, getting them figured out, getting acquainted with the cars. It's a little different than the Vipers that they were driving, so it's a little bit of a learning curve. But you know, David's had a top 10. Frank's had a couple of top 10s. Nathan had a good showing at Road Atlanta with a solid 4th place finish. We put the silver car here on the pole last week at Mid-Ohio, so that's people know we're coming.
Oh yeah,
it's only a matter of time.
Nice to see Archer Racing. Well, obviously your brothers took several championships and won many races over the years. And as I was talking to Tommy earlier, he said with all the manufacturers. I mean, they started with Renault and went on to Chevy and Jeep and Corvette and Mustang and the Dodge Daytonas and Trans Am. And it's great to see you guys out here with Camaros now.
Yeah, it's the brand doesn't really matter as much to us anymore. You know, back in the day, it used to you used to be really partial to what you were working on.
Well, your dad was a Renault dealer, so you know you kind of expect.
Yeah, and you know, it's we just had somebody in here this morning said, "Man, we used to watch your brothers kick everybody's butts here in an old Renault," and I'm like, you know, we're still going and we're still going strong, and we're trying to make things bigger and better, and hopefully be a mark to watch out for in the Trans Am Series.
Okay, sounds good, and good luck to you. Jed Copham, as we mentioned, he's track owner. He probably has more laps on this track than anybody in some very fast machines, but he says he's going to take it easy and just get out there and have some fun today.
That's exactly what I told him. Just take your time, and I was hoping we were going to qualify, and he said, nah, it's more fun to start at the back. It gives you more cars to pass.
He is that kind of guy. All right, thanks, John Archer. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right, thank you.
And we're actually talking into this microphone.
Okay.
Okay. Rich Woodward, you're with Bob Stretch and Tom Sheehan. You got 3 really nice, almost identical Camaros.
Yep. They're all Howe Camaros, the standard deal. LS3 motors, Hoosier tire. Wonderful series.
Running in the TA2, we should say.
Running the TA2 series, yeah. Bob is a 2-time class champion, TA2 champion. Last year he struggled. He finished 2nd last year. Struggling a little bit this year, but we're getting back on track. He's fast here. He likes this place. A lot of drivers don't like this place, but he does.
I was out there with the radar gun on turn 3 yesterday, and he was probably the fastest of the TA2 cars.
He had a huge spin back there.
Yeah, I heard he had a spin out and threw a little dirt out on the track.
Yeah. He was talking pretty fast when it was all done. But he, now, and actually, I've gone from feeling, boy, this is something, to, if not really good about it, a lot better. You know, especially after this morning's session. He was really good this morning, and so was Tom.
Okay.
And so I think the cars are good. Depending on how it all goes, I mean, it's racing.
Okay.
But no, I think we're in good shape here.
All right, you got 3 cars.
We got 3 cars.
Right behind that lead pack, that is your battle for your championship.
And your third driver?
I can't remember his name. That's like, can we cut that out?
Yeah, well, okay. But
you already. I was thinking about that when we were talking. I forgot it. So.
Okay, well that's all right. But the Fix a Rim is your sponsor here.
Fix a Rim is Bob's company, and Wheels America. I mean, they fix aluminum wheels. I mean, that's the whole deal.
It seems like just about everything comes with aluminum wheels these days.
So it's a good program for him. He's got operations in Philadelphia. He's got them in Chicago. I mean, around the country. So and that's his business. And Tom's out of New Hampshire, and he's an enthusiast.
Okay, good.
So they're both really great guys.
All right.
I've enjoyed working with both of them, and we'll look forward to doing well here.
Okay, sounds good. All right.
Okay.
Rich Woodward, thank you.
Appreciate
it.
Yep. You can't cut that out there in the middle. Scam? Huh? That's like, well.
It's all right. As he told me, there's a bazillion viewers in China. I hope you were on pause. Cameron Lawrence, you've had a hell of a year. You were champion last year, and this year you were points leader, and then all of a sudden changed from Chevy to Dodge.
Yeah, we did. It's been in the works for a while, actually, this whole season, from actually a little bit before March. But it's a big switch going from the Chevy to the Dodge in the middle of the season. But I think we're on top of things already. Mid-Ohio was a little bumpy, just getting the cars there and getting them running. But I think we're about back where we need to be.
Now, I was watching you. You're really fast coming into turn 3. You're about the fastest driver out there, which is great to see. You and Tommy, the cars obviously seem to be taking to this track just great.
Yeah, it has some fun corners, this track, and we've been here the last couple of years, so I think that helped us with setup and knowing what we needed, especially with the new car, so we weren't working on it, all throughout the entire day and up to the race. So we have a setup we're pretty comfortable with, and I think we'll be set for the race.
Okay. You've had, you mentioned some teething problems at the previous race. Car wasn't quite ready, so you didn't get to qualify, had to start at the back.
Yeah, the car showed up Friday night at like 8:30, and I had to race it on Saturday, so starting from the back was tough. And then Tommy's car he had some contact and ended up breaking something in the rear end. But all in all, it was a good showing for the cars, making our way up to 10th, and Tommy ran inside the top 5 most of the race. So they showed their potential there, and then we just need to work on little things and getting everything back to where it needed to be, like we had the Chevys, and getting them up front.
So how did you get started that you ended up here with the Trans Am?
Well, we started in SCCA club racing with a GTA car, an old ASA car, which is what these TA2 cars are based off of. And then actually raced our own car a couple races, one race 2011 and then 2 in 2012 when Mr. Miller asked me if I could come drive for him one weekend because he'll be out of town, and it just kind of took off from there.
Okay. Well, you've had a great start, and you've been at it a few years. People talk about, you're the guy to watch, which is a nice place to be.
Yeah, I know the series. I think it's good timing and just good people getting in there at the right time. The series is great. The cars are great. It's just I've been really lucky with this whole situation, and it's just taken off. And now this deal with Dodge and racing with Tommy Kendall is like a dream come true, really. So I've been really blessed, and we're working really hard to keep getting better and keep going forward. But I'm extremely happy where we're at now.
Okay, good. Thanks, Cameron Lawrence. Good job. Good luck today.
Thank you.
That's how we do it at the racetrack. It's gonna get loud.
Nicole, I've been watching you here all weekend. You've been cooking for this crew, for the Deerhawk crew, and I've just been amazed at the setup you've got here. Most people would have a barbecue grill and a cooler, but there's a refrigerator here.
There is a refrigerator, 4 crock pots, a roaster, fry pan, hot burner, we have it all.
You've even got the kitchen sink?
I do have the kitchen sink. Deerhawk Motorsports made that in the shop just for me.
So what do you do to plan for a crew? How many people are you planning for when you're making this meal?
I always count on 10 people because I also feed the Trans Am officials and the president. But then you never know. There might be a driver who comes over who's hungry that their team didn't provide food, willing to help. So I will plan at least a veggie, a starch, and lots of meat.
So tell me what was on this weekend's menu.
Pulled pork, sauerkraut soup, quinoa salad, bratwurst, barbecue chicken, and black beans.
That's better than my family picnic.
It's a variety, health food and junk food.
It really is. Well, thank you so much, and keep feeding these guys. You know, that's the one thing, having been a racer, that's the one thing the drivers forget about. They're so concentrating on the racing, somebody's got to drag them and say, come on, you got to eat.
And that's exactly what I do. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Nicole. Kitchen sink.
I know, you love it?
Word from my statisticians here. Great top-notch crew. Tell me what hasn't come down now between stay over and stay roll.
There's Simon.
For that third position and final push.
As long as we're still here, there's Simon Gregg is out here now. Recent Trans Am champion. And looks like you may be the fastest. You were fastest in the practice sessions yesterday.
Well, I've been testing at this track. I know it pretty good. I was real happy with the lap times yesterday, and we didn't get a lot of track time, but I'm confident with the car and the team. I know on the track it's quite fast. You got turn 1 and 2, which they're taking in 5th gear. It's a pretty unusual track.
Well, we saw one of the cars did over 150 miles an hour coming into turn 3. So, and then turn 3 is tight, so you're hard on the brakes.
Right. We're talking about Brainerd, Minnesota. It's way up here, up north. It's a bit cold, but it's a nice respite from my home in Florida. I enjoy coming to this track. Thanks to our team is from Minnesota. That's partly why we have an event here. And they got the long course, which has that 5,000-foot straightaway, which I do a little testing on. That's really wicked.
Now, when you were here a few weeks ago, we talked, and you mentioned that your dad had raced here and had won here several times.
Right. Yeah, he raced here in the 70s. Back then he had a very high winning percentage. Driving the Porsches.
So your dad, of course, being Peter Gregg, was the well-known Porsche driver back in that era.
The late great Peter Gregg. He's in many Hall of Fames. Most recently, the Sebring Hall of Fame. I went down there during the 12 hours and helped celebrate his induction into that Hall of Fame. Along with the International Hall of Fame in Detroit, and then you got your NASCAR Hall of Fame in Alabama.
Okay. Well, tell us about the new car. It's last year's chassis with the new body, correct?
Yeah. We've been running the same chassis since 2010, I believe. The body's brand new, the C7. It's a fresh new look. It's cutting edge. It's got nice lines. It's nice to look at.
And hopefully a little better aerodynamically, especially at 150 miles an hour.
Well, if I'm lucky, it'll run a little better too, We haven't had her in the wind tunnel yet, but I think so far it feels like it's got enough downforce.
Well, good. I know there's a lot of buzz about the C7. The street car has gotten a lot of raves, so I know the fans are really happy to see one out here racing.
I know. I'm excited about how good the street car is selling and all. It's like, when the Z06 comes out, I think that'll be really nice. I can't wait to see that car. That's the kind of car I like to drive on the street.
So, how did you get your start in racing?
I started when I was 19 at Bob Bondurant Racing School in Sonoma, California. And then in my late 20s, I went full-time with American Sedan Racing in a 91 Camaro. And then I went to World Challenge Racing, which was my first pro racing, and in the 90s. Starting in '95, I ran the endurance classics. Those are the 24 and 12-hour races at Daytona and Sebring. So I've run mostly American muscle cars, but a few Porsches and prototypes and other GT cars along the way.
So you've had a great career. You know, you talk about your dad, but you've had a pretty good career as well.
Well, I've been racing a long time now, so I've got to experience, you know, all of the tracks and you know, most of the series and cars that are interesting out there.
Okay. Well, thanks and good luck. It looks like we said, looks like you've got the fast time out there, the time to beat. So should be a good race, and good luck to you. Have some fun out there.
Thanks. I'll be going for a good top finish this race. I think I got a good chance to win it.
I think you do. Good. Thanks, Simon Gregg from Florida, running up here at Brainerd in the number 59 Durhog Corvette, Gregg Motorsports Corvette, and.